Dear Libra, if no one has reminded you today, let me be the first. You are far richer in spirit than you realize, and somewhere deep inside, part of you is already beginning to remember that. By the time this message settles into your heart, something quiet may begin shifting beneath the surface, like fresh air entering a room closed for too long. This is not just another horoscope passing by. It feels more like life reaching for you at the exact moment something inside you is ready to move forward. This space is for people who feel deeply, for those searching for meaning beneath ordinary moments. We are not only talking about signs and planets here, we are listening to the language your inner world has been trying to speak all along. And today, Libra, there is a reason this video found you now. Because part of you has grown tired of waiting for permission to finally step into your own life. For so long, you have been the one holding everything together, the quiet support behind other people's victories, the person who softened conflict, carried emotional weight silently, and kept harmony intact even when it exhausted you. But as May 27th and 28th approach, the energy begins moving in a different direction. Something subtle is opening, not loud or dramatic, but strong enough to change the way you see yourself and what you are finally willing to receive. This shift may not arrive with fireworks. It may come through a feeling, a conversation, or a sudden clarity you cannot fully explain. But it carries the sense that something growing quietly inside you is finally ready to move. You no longer have to keep proving your worth before allowing abundance into your life. Every graceful choice, every silent sacrifice, every moment you kept going when no one noticed has already shaped the energy surrounding you now. So let me ask you something, Libra. Have you felt that subtle pressure inside lately, like your life is trying to expand beyond its old shape, even if your mind cannot explain it yet? Maybe it has shown up through strange dreams, old memories resurfacing unexpectedly, or repeated numbers like 111, 888, or 2121 appearing at the right moment. Maybe there has been a quiet pull towards something softer and more aligned. That is not your imagination, that is alignment beginning to move through your life. And if you have ever whispered, "Please just give me one clear sign," then let this message meet you there. Stay with this video because what unfolds next is not random, it is arriving with purpose. This message is guiding you toward the version of yourself that no longer begs for blessings, but slowly learns how to receive them with openness and self-respect. Before we continue, thank you for showing up here with your honesty, your energy, and the quiet courage you carry even on difficult days. Every comment, every like, and every person who chooses to stay connected helps create a space where people feel less alone in what they are moving through. Now tell me honestly, Libra, what has your intuition been trying to show you lately? Have the signs become harder to ignore? Has your inner voice grown clearer these past few weeks? Comment below, "I am ready to receive what no longer requires me to shrink." Let those words become your affirmation, your signal that you are open to the clarity and abundance trying to move closer to you now. Because the rest of this video may reveal something your spirit has sensed for a long time, but has not fully trusted yet. There is a quiet shift unfolding inside you, Libra, and it is not the kind that arrives with chaos or dramatic announcements. It moves gently, like sunlight entering a room that has been dim for too long. This transformation works from the inside outward, touching hidden places before anything changes on the surface. And the fact that you are still here listening says something important already. Because part of you has started responding to a truth you were not ready to fully face before now. You have spent much of your life carrying grace for other people. You became the calm voice during conflict, the person who swallowed disappointment to keep harmony intact, the one who made yourself smaller so others could stay comfortable. But real peace was never meant to require your disappearance. When balance costs your own spirit, it slowly turns into exhaustion. The deeper truth rising now is that you were never meant to survive by living only in pieces of yourself. As May 27th and 28th draw closer, the changes around you may appear almost invisible at first. You may not see dramatic proof or immediate rewards, but something meaningful will begin revealing itself quietly. A passing comment may stay with you longer than expected. A familiar scent may pull an old memory back into your chest. A dream or moment of stillness may feel charged with meaning. These are not random distractions. They are signs that something inside you is waking up and reconnecting with its deeper knowing. And what is returning to you now, Libra, is far greater than material gain alone. Yes, abundance is moving closer, but first comes the return of your ability to choose yourself clearly and without apology. What is rebuilding now is your discernment, your trust in your instincts, and your willingness to receive without guilt. For years, you gave freely and forgave long before your heart had healed. But life is no longer asking you to earn your worth through sacrifice. It is asking you to finally recognize the value that has always been there. This realization does not arrive through grand performances or public breakthroughs. It appears in ordinary moments. It happens when you look at yourself without criticism for once. It happens when you say no calmly, instead of abandoning yourself to avoid disappointing someone else. It happens when you stop treating every ending like punishment and begin understanding that some things leave simply to make room for what fits you better now. Sometimes the miracle is simply waking up and realizing you no longer want to shrink to make others comfortable. There is something sacred in that choice. Little by little, your life begins responding to the version of you finally standing more fully in your truth. If you grew up believing happiness had to be earned through struggle, maybe it is time to hold a gentler possibility instead. Some good things arrive quietly. Some forms of grace enter your life without demanding pain as proof that they matter. Sometimes growth looks like allowing yourself to rise naturally without explaining your expansion to everyone around you. And in a world that glorifies exhaustion and endless striving, the deepest transformations often move softly, like a candle slowly warming a dark room. Let this settle inside you gently. You are not falling behind. You are not unseen. You are not too late for the life meant for you. Life is not punishing you. It is preparing you for a future that finally matches the version of yourself that no longer settles for emotional scraps. So if you have been quietly asking for confirmation, let this message meet you there. Your soul is no longer sitting in waiting. It is beginning to move, awaken, and open towards something larger than fear. There are seasons in life when everything begins aligning quietly before anything visibly changes on the outside. Not through dramatic signs, but through subtle moments that settle deep within your spirit. This feels like one of those seasons for you now, Libra. What is unfolding in your chart is not only about planets shifting in the sky, it is about remembering your worth without needing anyone else to confirm it first. Venus, the planet tied closely to your nature, has been moving away from the heavier energy that weighed on your heart for far too long. For months, maybe years, life may have taught you that love had to be earned, rest needed justification, and your value depended on sacrifice. But the energy around you now carries a softer rhythm. It is guiding you away from survival mode and back toward balance, beauty, and receiving without guilt. This shift is not about rebellion, it is about restoration. Saturn may have taught you discipline and boundaries, but Venus is reminding you that softness is not weakness, and receiving is not selfish. As that heaviness lifts, an older truth rises back to the surface. You were never meant to stand at the end of the line for your own peace or blessings. Something about this season feels different because your energy is no longer trapped in waiting. It is moving toward arrival. At the same time, the North Node is drawing attention to self-worth and personal value, almost like life itself is inviting you to stop fading into the background and begin standing more fully in your own presence. This is not leadership that demands attention loudly. It moves through calm confidence, emotional steadiness, and authenticity. You have carried that energy for a long time, Libra, even when you doubted yourself. The difference now is that you are beginning to trust it instead of minimizing it. The cards reflect this transformation too. The Empress appears first, carrying the energy of abundance, creativity, and quiet prosperity. She reminds you that meaningful growth cannot be forced. Every unseen kindness, every private prayer, every intention you protected, even without visible proof, has been part of seeds planted long ago. And Libra, something in your life is beginning to move toward fruition now. But alongside that warmth comes the Seven of Swords, not as fear, but as discernment. As your energy becomes lighter and more magnetic, some people may be drawn toward it without truly valuing it properly. Not everyone deserves full access to your softness. Some connections ask more from you than they give back. That is why this season is teaching you pause, observation, and emotional boundaries. You are allowed to keep parts of your healing private until trust is earned. Silence is not weakness here. Sometimes it becomes protection and self-respect at the same time. Then the star emerges, bringing a feeling that resembles relief after a long emotional drought. This card does not promise perfection. What it offers is peace, the kind that arrives once you stop exhausting yourself, trying to prove your worth, and finally allow your presence alone to be enough. There is a quiet wish living inside you, one you rarely speak aloud because part of you feared wanting too much. But that hope has not disappeared. It has been heard. Everything unfolding here points back to the same truth. You do not need to keep striving endlessly to become worthy. You already are. This is the shift happening beneath the surface. Life begins flowing differently, not because you forced more effort into the world, but because you stopped resisting what already belonged to you. You do not need to chase what was already meant for you. That truth speaks to timing, trust, and alignment. And it is exactly the lesson unfolding for you now, Libra. So if you have been waiting for confirmation that it is safe to stop hiding parts of yourself, let this message meet you there. You are not becoming someone else. You are arriving more fully into who you have been underneath the exhaustion all along. Because some forms of abundance do not announce themselves through money or status alone. Sometimes wealth moves more quietly than that, living inside intuition, emotional wisdom, and the kind of presence that naturally brings calm wherever it goes. Libra, you may have learned to measure abundance through visible success or material gain. But the prosperity unfolding around you now reaches much deeper. It begins within you first, then slowly reshapes your outer world. In the ways that truly matter, you already carry richness within your spirit, your presence, and your emotional wisdom. You have always carried a quiet kind of intelligence that does not need attention to influence a room. Your energy softens tension, steadies emotions, and brings clarity where confusion once lingered. As May 27th and 28th approach, the energy around you begins reflecting that truth more clearly. What starts returning to you now may arrive through ordinary moments at first. A delayed opportunity may return at better timing. A conversation or offer may seem small in the beginning, but quietly carry the ability to open long-closed doors. These moments are not random. They are signs that your inner alignment is beginning to match your external experience. You are no longer chasing your worth through endless effort or outside approval. Instead, you are beginning to recognize it within yourself first, and life naturally responds to that shift. The moment you stop asking whether you will ever receive and begin saying, "I am ready to receive," something fundamental changes in the way your energy moves through the world. Think of a farmer trusting the earth after planting seeds. Growth happens beneath the surface long before harvest becomes visible. In the same way, the healing, patience, and quiet effort you poured into yourself without applause has never been wasted. It has been taking root in unseen places, and now life is beginning to respond. What is unfolding for you is not random luck. It feels more like restoration, as though the energy you once gave away so freely is finally returning to you in new forms. Your resilience, patience, and sacrifices did not disappear into emptiness. The care you offered quietly still carried weight. The moments you continued showing up for others while carrying your own burdens silently were seen in ways you may not fully realize yet. You have been moving toward this season slowly, and now your value is beginning to reflect back through opportunities, recognition, and meaningful connections entering your life. As your relationship with your own worth deepens, the quality of what surrounds you changes too. For some, this may appear through financial improvement or overdue opportunities. For others, it may arrive through healing, respect, creative collaborations, or relationships that finally feel reciprocal instead of draining. Either way, your presence is becoming harder to overlook now, Libra, and so is your value. So speak it clearly. I am a soul millionaire. I allow myself to receive. Those words are not empty reassurance. They open you to a different relationship with abundance, one rooted less in proving and more in alignment. There are moments in life when the distance between where you are and where you are meant to be suddenly feels thinner, as though change is already moving toward you before you can explain it. Libra, May 27th and 28th carry that kind of energy, not as an ending, but as an opening. You may not fully understand why your intuition has been louder lately, why memories return through dreams, or why numbers like 111 and 888 keep appearing at perfect moments. But these experiences are not meaningless coincidences. They are reminders that something within you is beginning to align with what has been waiting to meet you all along. These moments are not random, Libra. They are quiet signals that your inner world is shifting and your outer reality is beginning to follow. You may catch yourself staring out a window without knowing why, feeling something rise in your chest before your mind can explain it. Even words like freedom, peace, or abundance may stir something deep inside you. That matters because the soul often speaks through feeling long before logic understands. So if something inside you feels like it is slowly waking up, trust it instead of dismissing it. You are not imagining things, you are sensing preparation. As May 27th and 28th approach, the energy around you feels less like closure and more like the beginning of a new emotional chapter that has been quietly forming beneath the surface for a long time. In numerology, some numbers carry the energy of transition and growth. 21 speaks of completed cycles and wisdom gained through experience. 22 carries the energy of building something meaningful, turning vision into reality through alignment instead of force. And Libra, you seem to be standing between those two energies now. One part of you is still connected to what you have outgrown, while another is moving toward what is ready to unfold next. Life is not rushing you, but it is inviting you forward gently. The choices you make now may shape far more than the next few weeks. Astrologically, this shift is not dramatic. It moves quietly through the healing you have done in private, the boundaries you have learned, and the emotional lessons you carried silently when no one else noticed. That is why the change may not feel loud yet. Your soul has been moving toward this long before your circumstances reflected it back to you. People often expect transformation to arrive with fireworks, but real change usually begins softly. Sometimes it starts as a whisper inside you, saying there is something more waiting, even if you cannot fully define it yet. That is why this moment asks for presence, not panic. There is no need to rush, but there is also no reason to ignore what your intuition has been trying to reveal. Many people ask for signs while overlooking the quiet answers already appearing around them. But you, Libra, tend to feel energy before it fully takes shape. That sensitivity is not weakness, it is one of your gifts. The pressure building inside you now is not simply anxiety, it feels more like a rival, like something deeply rooted within you is finally ready to rise. Think of seeds growing underground long before anything becomes visible above the surface. In many ways, that mirrors what has been happening inside you. The healing, patience, and emotional work you carried through difficult seasons created a stronger foundation than you realize. And now life feels softer somehow, as though the ground beneath you is finally ready to support what is trying to grow. Your mind may still want answers and exact timing, but some moments are not asking for perfect understanding, they are asking for trust. This is not blind faith, it is learning to stay present enough to recognize when something meaningful is unfolding naturally. So if this week brings a vivid dream, a conversation that lingers in your thoughts, or an opportunity that feels strangely well-timed, pause before dismissing it. Some blessings arrive quietly, without dramatic announcements. And this season feels very much like one of those moments, Libra. You are not too late for what is meant for you. When people think about healing, they often imagine dramatic breakthroughs. But for someone as emotionally aware as you, healing usually unfolds through smaller moments. The tension in your shoulders, the exhaustion you carry, the heaviness left behind after years of carrying emotional weight for others. None of it is accidental. You have spent so much time keeping peace for everyone else, even when it cost you your own well-being. But peace should never require you to abandon yourself. Slowly, you are beginning to understand that your balance deserves the same care and protection you have always offered others. This week, let your body speak before your mind rushes to solve everything, Libra. Return to grounding rituals that ask only for your presence, not perfection. A quiet morning walk, sunlight warming your skin, your feet touching the earth without hurry, can heal more than you realize. You do not need to fix your entire life all at once. Right now, it is enough to slow down and listen to what your body has been trying to tell you. As May 27th and 28th approach, you may feel a stronger desire to regain control over your finances or future. But true stability is not built only through saving or planning. It is also shaped by how you manage your emotional energy. Ask yourself honestly where your spending comes from sometimes. Is it rooted in fear, loneliness, or the hope that something external might fill what feels unsettled within you? Emotional spending often disguises itself as progress, but afterward it can leave you even more drained. You do not need more things to feel whole. What you may truly need is more space within yourself, so the abundance already moving toward you has room to arrive. Begin by appreciating what is already present, instead of constantly searching outside yourself for proof that you are enough. And this applies not only to money, but also to where your heart places its energy. Libra, one of the deepest transformations happening now involves the way you love. You are moving away from the version of yourself that gave endlessly while asking for almost nothing in return. The kind of connection entering your life now feels different. It is not arriving to rescue or complete you, because you were never broken. Instead, it brings the possibility of mutual growth, emotional honesty, and support that flows both ways. Listen more closely to how people make you feel than to the promises they speak. Real fullness has little to do with proving yourself through struggle. It is allowing yourself to experience emotional peace, physical care, spiritual steadiness, and relationships that do not require self-erasure to survive. You were never meant to move through life emotionally starved while pretending you were fine. And that shift begins through smaller choices than you may think. Give yourself permission to reset gently instead of waiting until burnout forces you to stop. Rest before exhaustion overtakes you. Say no without guilt, and say yes to the people and moments that allow your spirit to soften instead of tighten. You deserve to feel at ease within your own body, your own timing, and your own story. Healing is not some distant destination. More often, it feels like returning to yourself after years of drifting too far away. And as you continue that return, remember this. Life is not asking you to endlessly earn your worth. It is asking you to finally recognize it. Dear Libra, there has always been something beautiful about the quiet resilience you carry. Even when your effort went unnoticed, none of it was meaningless. This is not about finally becoming worthy. You have always been worthy. What is changing now is your willingness to believe it again. This moment is asking you to remember what it feels like to choose yourself without apology. You no longer have to sacrifice pieces of yourself just to be accepted. And you no longer need to apologize for wanting peace, softness, freedom, or time to breathe, Libra. Your life was meant to hold more than exhaustion and quiet self-sacrifice. So ask yourself honestly, what if the things you have been hoping for are already moving toward you, waiting for you to stop resisting them? What might change if you trusted yourself a little more instead of questioning every step? This message is not only about astrology or timing. It is more like a reflection gently held up to your spirit so you can finally see yourself clearly again. You are already enough. You do not need to earn your place in love, peace, or abundance through endless proving. Take a slow breath for a moment, Libra. Not because it fixes everything, but because it reminds you that you are still here after everything you have carried. You are still standing, still growing, still moving toward the version of yourself that no longer lives entirely from fear, but from trust. Let this week become the moment where you stop waiting for proof before believing in yourself. And if this message stirred something inside your heart, write in the comments, "I am a soul millionaire. I am ready to receive the prosperity the universe has always held for me." Speak those words clearly. Let them shape the way you move through your life from this point forward. Because the moment you begin living as though you are worthy of peace, support, love, and abundance, your energy naturally begins to shift around you. And if even one part of this message resonated with you, stay connected to this space and continue walking alongside others moving through similar awakenings. As May 27th and 28th approach, remember that this period is not simply another point on the calendar. It carries the feeling of a quiet turning point, gently asking whether you are finally ready to step forward instead of shrinking backward. And wherever you are right now, Libra, remember this: you are not forgotten, you are not invisible, and the life unfolding ahead of you is still opening softly and steadily, exactly as it was always meant to.